What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're all doing well today. As you can see, Trackdayr is looking a little bit different to normal. There's been a complete UI overhaul now. Bear in mind, this isn't public release quite yet. This is still on the dev build side of things. But I'm hoping this will be pushed out to you guys in no time at all. So I just want to walk you through some things. There's been gameplay changes as well as UI changes too. We've got some slight controller utility here in the menu now, which is nice. We can't go up and down and scroll through just yet, so I have got to use the mouse to move about. But one thing that's really cool now is without the use of you implementing mods into the game, if we go over to our wardrobe here and just let it buffer real quick, we can actually go through and choose from a bunch of pre-selected skins that we want to ride. Now, right now, I've gone full bike life, as you can see. We've gone for the white tee and jeans option. But if we go through here, you can just filter for absolutely everything. You can change all of your shirt colours to your heart's desire. If we go over to bottoms here, you can have some like standard white pants, black jeans, normal jeans. And if we come over, if you're like one of the GP guys rather than the motocross guys, you can put on full gear. Every now and then I can get it to glitch out, so we haven't got a top on, so I'm going to try and keep it like that, because that actually looks really cool, in my opinion. And you can do the same with like boots. We've got on just like normal shoes at the moment, etc. Or you can have proper boots. So all just cool, intuitive stuff. If I go back to the home page and we go over to bike, you see all the UI for choosing the bikes has all been changed too. You can filter by motocross bikes, or if you're more of the road bikes, again, you can choose whatever you want. I feel like this is a much nicer layout overall. It does say to change skin down here, which I don't believe actually does anything just yet. It's all up and coming. I'm saying it's all work in progress still. And then the part of the game that I will probably never touch, because I never have any idea what I'm doing, is you can come into here and properly go through everything suspension-wise, tyre-wise. Like, we've got sag, everything. I'm never going to touch any of that. It's not a bit of me. I have no idea what I'm doing. But I just want to show all of that off to you. And now we can actually get into the game and see how she handles a little bit more. And before we get into that again, you can see the whole like track loading up screen is completely different. If we go over here along to the tracks, we actually now have like proper large preview pictures of the tracks as well. And before, I found we just had the names, we didn't have actual pictures, and it was a little bit difficult to tell which track you was going to be on until you actually get there. But I think this is really, really cool that we've got full pictures. It has all of the stock tracks in the game until you get down to, I think it's about here, this is where they stop. And then I've got all of my DLC tracks as well. So just really, really cool, nice and easy laid out. I think it's a good quality of life change that makes everything a lot more simple to find. That looks hella cool. I need to try that at some point, Jesus. But yeah, again, more UI changes that makes everything look much more pretty. Oh, look at me. I look like I'm ready for the bike life streak. This is quite interesting. So the rider model itself has been changed. Now, I think he's been shrunk down a little bit. Before, the rider was pretty damn lanky. What this does mean, however, is for me right now, there is no like proper first-person angle like there was before. Obviously, still being worked on, just not being utilised just yet. However, I've noticed some screenshots creeping into the old MX Bikes Discord recently, in the Wheelie Weirdos channel specifically, and them boys seem to be eating this game up, and I reckon they'll be loving it even more now that we're riding around topless in jeans and just normal shoes. Again, it's one of them things where I feel like the devs on this game, they want to cater to everybody as much as possible, which I really don't mind. I just don't want them to do too much at once. That's my only one concern. One thing that I thought was really cool that I wanted to reach out to you boys on is I've spoken with these devs quite a lot since the first video I done on this channel, and they always value everyone's feedback. And there was a point in time where I wasn't enjoying the gameplay as much as I was when it first released. I feel like it was getting a little bit more stiff, not quite as free-flowing. And both of the devs reached out to me asking for my personal feedback on it, because I think sometimes people can get a little bit blinded by feedback. I know in the dev group at the moment, there's always lots of positive stuff, and I feel like some negative things need to be said every now and then. So the things that I wanted to really feed back to the devs is it just doesn't feel like there was a whole lot of flow. The bike felt very stiff in the air. The whips are still a little bit stiff now, to be fair, but the actual on-ground stuff feels a lot nicer. I like the riders' positioning and animations a lot more than on the old rider model, and obviously the UI, massive update on that UI. Like, it's been completely done from from top to bottom, and you can see even on the bottom right in the HUD and stuff as well, everything's just been fully changed. Now, in terms of there's no like new stock tracks at all at the point of me recording this from the last video, so we're just coming through, and I'm on LACR right now, the main track. I've not really touched on too many of them. I tend to focus more on like custom tracks here and there, which I think there has been 1 or 2 more of those released, so I will cover them all in due time. But in terms of the whips, I think what could be updated from this point forwards is, so at the moment you can do an oppo whip and you can do just like your normal standard everyday whip, and it feels like the bike wants to, once the back end steps out, it wants to get back into that just like straight line path. So it feels like there's just one direction that the bike wants to go in, and that is forwards. Now, on other games that I've played, like MX Bikes or MX Simulator, if you have, let's say, just a tiny little single jumping into a turn, say I single into this corner, it'd be nice to like jump and place your bike into the berm, you know, like push the bike out to the right and then get the bike lent, or get lent over to the left, and be like, just get the bike set up in the air. And I feel like that's what this game might be missing at the moment, is I feel like once you're in the air, the bike just wants to go straight all the time. It's quite hard to really put it where you want to. But again, this game is, it's not a full release by any means. It's constantly being worked on, and updates happening almost every single day in that dev chat. I do still check back in every now and then. I've just been a little bit inactive recently. I'm sure you guys can understand as well that right now it's a very important time in MX Bikes, where we're about to go into the outdoor season. A lot of my focus and attention has been on that, and I have had people asking in live streams and on videos where the Trackdayr videos have been. So you guys have been missing it, which is really good to see that you're not just here for the MX Bikes only content. You do want to see some other good stuff too. And one thing that I think has been fixed, like quite a large amount, is the gyro effect in the air. I think, and on the ground as well. That's some of the feedback I gave, as I felt like it was far too easy to wheelie, and I feel like that's been mostly remedied now. There's no worry about constantly feel like you're going to flip off the back of the bike, even if you're sat down and leant forwards. It's all still pretty damn good, and the back brake seems to be a bit more effective in the air now as well, so I don't feel like I get in the air, get out of shape, and I just turn into like a dead sailor. You know, I can't do anything. This track's probably not the best example when I'm trying to show off the whips, if I'm completely honest. Maybe I should change to something else. Right, we've come over to the Deegan compound because there are some absolutely huge jumps on this track. And I was playing last night just to make sure everything was all up and running as it should be. There was no bugs at all. I don't want to get halfway through a recording and then have some massive issues. But oh my Christ, okay, you can step her out. Noted, you can definitely get her sideways, just a little bit difficult to get it back. So yeah, I was playing this last night, just testing, and gave some feedback. Every now and then, we'll get a bit of wheel spin going on that would never go away. It doesn't matter how many gears you shift up through, you can be in 5th gear going very slowly and still spinning, and the bike would eventually come to a stop. But apparently that is an issue that already is being worked on, so again, feedback being taken into account straight away. And it's apparently an issue with, not so much traction, but there's like there's a slip system in this game where your bike will just spin every now and then. So that's all been looked into. Again, I don't know much of what goes on in terms of coding. I have never made... Well, that's a lie, actually. I have made a game before. I remember back when I was really young at school, they made us make like this super basic maze game with a shape that you just kind of move in and out. Just very simple coding. And then, even then, we were just copying what was written down anyway. We didn't... It wasn't like I had to actually learn anything. I just copied from the whiteboard, essentially. But I think I said on live streams before, I wasn't happy with the direction the game was going in. And it wasn't until a little bit after that, I don't think they even saw me saying that at all, but yeah, both of the devs reached out to me separately asking kind of like where I've been and what my feedback is on the game at the moment. And literally just yesterday, at the point of me recording this, another one of the devs said like, thank you for the feedback, changes have been made based on it. So that they value everybody, which is really weird. It's strange coming from, obviously I'm in the dev group for MX Bikes as well. Pomoso is a little bit of an enigma. He does go missing for periods of time. It's hard to get a hold of him when you need him and get all the information that you need. But it's definitely like a day and night difference between the two. I mean, it's 2 different methods of going about things, I suppose, at the end of the day too. But it's odd. It's odd having like absolutely everything that you say been listened to. As you can see, maybe I was lying at the start of this. Maybe the whips aren't quite as stiff as I thought. Now I just need to try and practice and learn how to get the damn things back. is there are some people that I've seen clips. I've seen clips in like the media parts of the Trackdayr Discord. Some people are actually pretty nutty when it comes to getting steezy on this game, and I have no idea how. But I think one of the hardest things for me, where I try and transition across a bunch of different games, whether it's Trackdayr or Sim or MX Bikes, they all have their own different like unique mechanics. So sometimes it can be quite hard just hopping from one to the other and doing it well. They've all got their own little tendencies, things that work and things that don't work. So if you ever do see me kind of just flopping about on the track a little bit here and there, don't instantly blame it on the game or say like this is garbage or whatever. I'm trying my best. I always do try my best to kind of show off tracks or games, whatever it is I'm covering, to the best of my abilities. It's just sometimes I'm human too, and I do run out of skill or talent every now and then. But I'm a lot more happy now than I was, let's say, a couple of weeks ago, at just the general gameplay feel. And since this change that I'm riding on right now has been implemented, I've already seen one or two other people in dev groups saying that they feel a lot more comfortable, a lot more flowy. And one thing that I do like, which I don't think the track does much justice, that you might not notice too much, is I think the general gameplay has been slowed down a little bit. And I'm on the 250 4-stroke right now, and I think that's a good thing. One thing like that I think a lot of games suffer with these days is everything kind of being too fast. Of course, games like Monster Energy Supercross have the opposite effect, where everything just feels super, super slow and sluggish. But I feel like this is a nice in-between, because if we're being realistic, you shouldn't really be able to hop on a motorbike, IRL, and go a million miles an hour all the time. You know, you kind of, you build your way up to it, and this game does really emphasise being smooth and consistent over just going for raw one lap pace. So it's definitely, I think it targets a different kind of audience. I think if you are one of the younger folk that like going a million miles an hour at like your 130 FOV on bikes, for example, might not appeal to you quite as much. But if you're someone who wants a little bit more of a, I wouldn't say realistic experience just yet, because obviously every game has their own kinks. But if you want it to be slowed down a bit, be a lot more precise, and really think about what you're doing on the track and work your way up speed-wise, definitely give it a go. I don't know how much the game is on Steam at the moment. I bought it very, very early on. It might have gone down. It might be the same. No clue. But go check it out. I'll probably wrap it up there if I'm completely honest. It was just a quick little check-in. Really, really impressed by the new UI. I think it makes everything look so much... It just looks so much better. And everything's a lot more easy to navigate. It all makes sense. And just a big quality of life change I think was drastically needed. And then the gameplay I think is heading back in the right direction as well. So, and thank you to the devs at Mad Cow for actually like listening and taking all feedback in. I certainly appreciate it, and I know the people that play the game, which is exactly you trying to please anyway, they'll appreciate it in the long term when the game ends up being fully fleshed out and exactly what everybody wants. And then I hope you wheelie weirdos are enjoying the jeans and t-shirt combo. I'm going to piece the scene now. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please do drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'd greatly appreciate it. Have a lovely rest of the day, whatever you're up to, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.